If you start to make the scary thing more about the value that you are sharing or the impact that you are having, then your self-doubt becomes less important. If you're on the fence about starting a new business and you're doubting whether you can do it, remember how much of an impact you might be able to have if you actually go ahead and do it. If you're doubting whether you can start a podcast like I was 6 years ago, I realized that I had so much value to share and that I was doing my potential audience a big disservice by not sharing that stuff. Welcome to Imperfect Action. I'm Steph Taylor. For years, I read all the books, downloaded all the freebies, and did all the courses. But it wasn't until I started taking imperfect action that my business had its first $1 million year. Imperfect action is about doing things before you're ready, prioritizing consistent action over perfect action, and moving forward, even when you're not sure you're doing it right. On this show, you can expect mindset advice, actionable marketing tips, and strategies to build a business that brings you more profit, more freedom, and even more joy. Are you on the list to get my daily Biz Boosters? Every day, I'll send you a bite-sized prompt designed to help you grow your business in a more intentional way. Sign up at stephtaylor.co/DBB or at the link in the show notes. Hey, welcome back to Imperfect Action. This is episode 689. Today, we are talking about self-doubt. And I think this is one of the things that holds back so many business owners. No matter what level you are at in your business, it's going to be one of those things that pops up whenever you're doing something that is a little bit unfamiliar, a little bit outside of your comfort zone. It's going to probably be that voice that pipes up that's like, ooh, can I really do this thing? And it often feels like when that voice pipes up, we really can't do that thing. But a lot of the time, it's really our brains trying to keep us safe from the unknown, safe from failure, safe from rejection, safe from some unknown thing that might hurt us. So today I'm sharing 5 little tools that can help you to work through that self-doubt when it does pipe up. Number 1, know that it is your mind trying to keep you safe and that we all struggle with self-doubt. Every time I do something new, I always come up against that little bit of self-doubt that, can I really do this? And I know it's hard to believe that the people you follow online, the podcasts you listen to, the people you watch presenting live, all of those things, it's hard to believe that those people struggle with self-doubt. But believe me, we really do. I no longer feel the self-doubt when I hit record on a podcast episode because I've been doing it for so long. But when I first started this show, oh my goodness, every time I hit record, every time I went to outline an episode, there was always that doubt of, is this going to be valuable? Is somebody going to learn something out of this? Should I really be doing this? I came up against it recently when I was outlining a presentation for a conference that I'm speaking at in the next couple of weeks. And I noticed the voice in my head saying, oh, is this going to be valuable? Are they going to find this any good? Is this going to be as good as the other presenters? I don't know enough to be presenting on stage. All of those sorts of voices started to pipe up. But because I'm aware that it's my mind trying to keep me safe, trying to stop me from embarrassing myself on stage or being rejected by the audience, then I know, okay, I'm not going to listen to this voice. I'm still going to go ahead and do the scary thing, right? And some of this might be imposter syndrome. Back in episode 643, we talked a little bit about how imposter syndrome can show up without you realizing in your business. So go back and listen to that episode. You can send me a DM on Instagram, send me the number 643. I'm over there at stephtaylor.co and I'll send you a link to listen to that episode. There's also a really great TED Talk by Mike Cannon-Brookes, who is one of the founders of Atlassian, which is, I think, Australia's largest software company. It's a global company. They're huge. And, he's multi-billionaire, and he talks about how he also felt that imposter syndrome and how he was sitting at an event next to somebody who was even more successful than he was, and they also felt like they didn't belong in that room, right? It's so completely normal to have that self-doubt and that imposter syndrome. It's healthy. But when you allow it to stop you from doing the things that you really want to do and the things that will create a bigger impact in the world, that's when it becomes a problem. So we want to keep it in check when it pipes up. And it might just be a simple question like saying, hey, can I know for sure that I'm going to fail at this? If the voice in your head says you're going to fail, can I know that for sure? Is that real? Is that true? No, you don't have any evidence that you're going to fail. The only way to actually get that evidence is to do the thing. The only way to know for sure is to do the thing. And if you do fail, guess what? You'll survive. You're still closer than you were before because now you've learned something. You've learned from the mistake, and you wouldn't have learned that if you'd stayed in your comfort zone, grappling with that self-doubt, overthinking it. Number 2, remember that it is not about you. It is about the people that you can help by doing that scary thing. If you start to make the scary thing more about the value that you are sharing or the impact that you are having, then your self-doubt becomes less important. If you're on the fence about starting a new business and you're doubting whether you can do it, remember how much of an impact you might be able to have if you actually go ahead and do it. If you're doubting whether you can start a podcast like I was 6 years ago, I realized that I had so much value to share and that I was doing my potential audience a big disservice by not sharing that stuff. And if you were to go back 689 episodes, back to episode 1, you would probably laugh. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible compared to the episodes that I release now. But I had to do those early episodes to learn how to be a good podcaster and to grow this show to where it is today. I didn't just suddenly pick up a microphone and produce great quality audio and have lots of listeners. But even those really average early episodes meant that I could impact a lot more people than if I had just stayed in my comfort zone. Number 3, make a list of all of the things that you once doubted you could do and that you actually successfully did. This is a fun one because we often will sit in self-doubt for a long time. And then when we do the thing, we're like, okay, cool, on to the next thing. But if we actually reflect, you'll probably notice that there are a lot of things where you were in that self-doubt and then you succeeded. And maybe once upon a time, you doubted whether you could start a business and you did it. Or maybe there are some things that aren't even related to your business. Like maybe you doubted you could give a speech at your best friend's wedding and you did it. Or you doubted you could run a 5K and you did it. This list becomes a really nice reminder of how capable you actually are. And once you have that list, ask yourself, if I can do all of this, what else could be possible for me? Come back to it whenever you're feeling that self-doubt popping up. Come back to the list. Remind yourself of all of the things that you didn't think you could do and that you did. And then ask yourself, this thing that I want to do, that I'm doubting whether I can do, is it possible that maybe this thing could be on the list one day, the list of things that I didn't think I could do and actually did? Number 4, start a little happy feedback folder, whether it's in your inbox or on your phone, in your notes app, wherever it is. Just have somewhere where you can save every piece of happy client feedback, every positive comment that somebody makes about your content, every podcast review. Anytime that you are making any kind of a difference to someone else's life, screenshot it and save it. Because this then reminds you of the impact that you can make when you put yourself out there. And if you can make this kind of impact right now, imagine what else you could do if you tiptoed out of your comfort zone a little bit further. Number 5, lean on others for support. I could never have grown my business and this podcast to where they are without having really close friends who also run businesses. I would say most of my wider friendship group now are business owners as well. It's just happened organically now since I started my business. Oh my goodness, like 7 years ago? I don't even know anymore. But 2 of my now best friends, like life best friends, not just biz besties, they also run businesses. And we didn't know each other pre-business. And we now have this group chat where we are constantly supporting each other. When we are feeling a little bit of doubt or when something's not going well, it's so nice to know that I have these 2 awesome humans who have my back and I have theirs. But when I first started out in my very first business, it was lonely. And I made an effort. I'm quite an introvert by nature, but I made an effort to go to events, which felt a little bit scary. I'm not going to lie. It was a little bit scary. And then, connecting with people online on Instagram, meeting people in real life, joining mastermind groups, going to retreats, going to other events, all of those things where I could have that connection with real humans. And that's how I built those friendships. It's taken a long time, but they are it's probably one of my favorite things, actually, if not the favorite thing about running a business. And then when that self-doubt, that can I really do it, pops up, you have a support network you can share it with. You can talk to them and they will remind you that it's totally normal and that they deal with it as well. And that it's not a sign that you shouldn't do the thing, but it's rather just a sign that you are on the edge of your comfort zone and you're about to do something really, really awesome. And it just feels really scary at the moment. All right. So there you have it. 5 little tools to help you overcome that self-doubt. Number 1, know that it is your mind keeping you safe and we all struggle with it. Number 2, remember that it's not about you, it's about the people you can help. Number 3, make a list of all the things that you once doubted you could do and that you actually did. Number 4, start a happy feedback folder in your inbox or on your phone. And number 5, lean on others for support. Now, as part of my happy feedback folder, I love reading podcast reviews because every time somebody leaves an awesome review about this podcast, it reminds me that this is why I do what I'm doing and it reminds me of the impact that I can have. So if you haven't already left a review for this show, please take 30 seconds to do it. It means so much to me. I read all of them. My team reads them. And it really just reminds us, hey, like the work that goes into creating every single episode, it's worth it. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Catch you next time.